What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are. Today, we are covering PVU, Plant vs. Undead. One of the biggest NFT games ever created, was riding right behind Axie Infinity. But lately, I've been having a lot of questions. I know a lot of people have been having the same questions. Was PVU a scam? Is it a scam? Was it ever sustainable? And is there a way back? Or should you simply just run away as fast as you can from this project? Today, we're going to cover all of that. I'm going to show you analysis, what I think, is it fixable or not. But before we do that, if it is your first time here, which it probably is because it is my first NFT video, I'm switching over from gaming content where I used to be a world champion in that to NFTs. I've been in the NFT space for a while now, but I haven't really wanted to upload content up until now, and we will be uploading quite a lot from various different games and also arts. All right, so before we get into the video, a little bit of background really quickly. I do have a major in economics and a minor in marketing as well, so I do know a little bit, but this is not financial advice. Okay, whatever I say doesn't mean do it at all. This is just my point of view, my thoughts, what I'm gonna do, and I hope I can help you guys in your path through these NFTs, because it is a little bit risky, actually quite a lot risky, but there is a lot of red flags, tutorials, and all of that that will be able to help you make the right decision. So if you want, leave that subscribe, and we will head into the video now. All right, guys, so now that we're here, it is time to talk about PVU. I've had a lot of questions asked to me, and I've seen them around the community in general. Was PVU always a scam? Is it a scam? What is going to happen in the future? And if it's worth even still being in it or even getting in at this point? Because as we know, PVU still has a long road ahead of it. Apparently, I'm not going to confirm that because I don't know if it will get there. You guys will make your own assumptions by the end of the video, but this biggest problem happened in farm 2.5. okay, I will get into that, and I will show you exactly what happened, where it started to go wrong, and what was the biggest points of, I guess, the downfall of PVU. For those of you who don't know where 2.5 started, it all started with that world tree. I'm going to show you guys that in game so that you can get a better visual if this is your first time learning about PVU. I know a lot of people that already were in PVU or are in PVU know this, but I want to give you my analysis really on what to pick up here, and then that way you can draw the best conclusions possible, and also look out for in future games, because this is just the start of NFT gaming, and we even know that there are future games kind of developing in the same style as PVU, one of them being Wanaka Farms, which I am huge on, and we will have a video. But let me show you guys really quickly here where it all started to go wrong. And this beautiful thing that we see here is the world tree. PVU introduced the world tree back about 2 weeks ago, I believe, if you're watching this video on the day that it released. And this was the biggest problem. This is where PVU showed us that it had no real idea on what economic systems work and how you can actually plan to give benefits to players, right? So it all started with this world tree, and this basically, as you can see here, the little water sign, you can go ahead and give some water. I'll give water even though I'm completely out of the game. Just a little bit of I guess background. I am completely gone. I also was in PVU with 4.5 Ethereum invested, so I was pretty heavily invested into the game. But as you can see, I gave 20 water, and I could go ahead and start claiming things here, right? You can go ahead and claim 15 LE, 10 LE, 25 LE, and you can even get one of these little boxes. Now, the world tree isn't that big of an issue, but it was a very big issue early on because it gave you saplings, right? So every player in the game, regardless if you joined with 20 PVU with $20 or you joined with $10,000, was going to get the absolute same rewards. And after those 7 days, you would get 100 total saplings, which gives you a free NFT. Great, right? That seems awesome for everyone. Yeah, in an idealistic world, that is awesome, but not right now. Why does that happen? Why was this a downfall? Because when you give people an NFT worth 130 PVU which at that point was up to $9 to $10, right? You are basically giving them $1,300 for free, $1,000 on the low end. And if you expect them to keep that, it's just not realistic. So now put yourselves in PVU's shoes. Yes, they tried to do something for the community. They tried to let everyone have, I guess, an easier entry barrier into the game to start making money, but they forgot to factor in that most people that went in with $20 will just rather have that $1,300 in their pocket than actually leave the plant there producing about 100 or so LE until you can get one PVU. And that is where the issue all started. When you add millions of free plants to all these players, they're going to go straight to the marketplace, right? Which was going to devaluate plant prices by a ton. But the biggest problem isn't even that. If plant prices were going to devaluate, that's all good, because at the end of the day, it was a very inflated, a very big bubble of a market. It was very much, I think it was too high up, the prices, and that's not the issue. The issue is that none of the people that were going to sell were going to reinvest that money, because if they were, they would have just taken the free NFT plant. So what you're essentially doing is you're adding more than, I believe there was more than 10 to 15,000 plants for sale on day one after the week ended, when there was usually 1,500 plants for sale. And what happens when all these people got a free NFT and they went in with $20? They're gonna undercut each other. So the prices kept going down every 30 seconds to the point where a metal plant that used to be worth 130 PVU was now worth 27 to 35 PVU. And to make things worse, all these people just took out of the game, right? They were just going to withdraw. So no money was injected into the game and a lot of money was taken out. That is the first downfall in all of this. We're going to move into the next downfall, which it all is detailed by them, actually. So thank you, PVU, in their Discord, okay? Let me pull up their Discord really quickly here. Here we have their Discord, right? And this all starts here. You're going to start seeing something very, very bad. The chart was already going way down in prices, and they decided we're going to start taking out a lot of PVU because we need that money to start circulating for our PvP. Issue number two, the market, you just gave so much free, no injection of capital. It is not the time to withdraw more capital, right? You are taking everything out while you gave people free money to continue to take out. But that is not the biggest issue, because every single project will take out their coin because they need to maintain servers, they need to pay employees, and that's all good. It should happen once or twice a week. But that is not what happened here. On the 18th, they swapped 22,000 PVU. On the 19th, they swapped 21,000 PVU. And then on the 20th, I believe, they swapped again 36,496 PVU. And then on the 21st, the day of the biggest fall for PVU, where it dropped from 9 all the way to 5, they decided to not only take one turn of liquidity here in 29,000, but 12 hours later, where their whole community was in panic, their Discord was unreadable, people were very worried about their pricing and all of that, they take out again. And what do they add at the end? We also added 2,500 BNB, 191,000 PVU to Pancake Pool. But that is not money that is injected into the economy. That is money that is there for the pool so people can continue to sell and buy, right? So that really doesn't help us at all. That was issue number 2. You cannot take, in the biggest downfall of your game, in the biggest slump where everyone is taking out money, you cannot decide that week you're going to take out 5 different times of 20,000 or more PVU. It is not acceptable. There are no excuses. And this is where scams started to ring bells, right? Because why are you needing all of this money? PvP has a beta that is going to come out in mid-October, but you don't need money instantly for the beta. So why are you withdrawing all this money right now when those servers are not even up, those employees are not even needed right now to the point where it is fully running? And they really had no answers. They went completely silent on us. And now it's time for problem number 3. And just wait, there's problem number 4. Ever since the beginning of PVU, we saw changes come really any day of the week. It could be 1 month later, it could be 1 week later, and they all seem very improvised. And one of those was this. 2.5 farm was a terrible mistake. They realized that, and they decided, you know what? We're going to change the conversion rate. It's no longer going to be 100 PVU for every, 100 LE for every PVU. We're going to change that to 150 LE for every PVU, with a little caveat that said every week we will be increasing 10%. The problem is there was no end week for this 10%. And when you add all of this, where the coin dropped from $12 to $4, you saw the developers take out this amount of money from the ecosystem as well. And then you not only raise the LE, which I think is the right move, because when you're having this big of an influx in plants, you need to make it a little bit harder to actually be able to liquidate on that. It's not a bad change, but you cannot leave it up in the air and say the weeks will stop once PvP is out, once Farm 3.0 is out, and not give people a day. So that only casted more doubt on everything. And why did I mention the improvisation of previous updates? Because this one had another one. What was the biggest issue here? They realized that this wasn't even going to be enough. This was not going to be sustainable for the economy of the game. So what happens? They take 12 hours and decide we're going to put out another announcement, right? This is the original one, 150. This is the announcement that came after. After some internal discussions, our team has decided to increase the rate of LE to PVU from 150 to 500. If we stop there, I'm okay with it. My biggest issue so far is the fact that, again, you just changed it 24 hours ago, 12 hours ago. You went back and realized it was not a sufficient change. And now you're going to go ahead and everyone's going to wake up to this one. This just shows that they really have no idea what is going on. They don't really think through what they need to do, what changes they need to do. But the 500 is okay. I think 500 is a good mark to have there to restabilize the economy, make sure people are taking longer times to withdraw. But that wasn't it. They decided to leave that be there for people that stopped reading, and then go ahead and start with the apology. But after the apology, that being said, all other rates remain unchanged. 105 to 100, basically giving an example here of 10% weekly increase of PVU until Farm 3.0, which means week 1, 500, week 2, 550, week 3, 610. And so forth and so on. I know the math is a little bit off, but just to make the numbers a little bit easier, that is what I decided to just go with here at the top of my head. What does that cause? This is problem number 4. Whenever you generate something like this, where every week there are increases in the change of how much LE to PVU you have, that is only going to cause every single person to liquidate as soon as possible. It gives no incentive for people to stack their LE, to possibly buy plants, to stack for saplings so they can then get seeds to then sell plants and then generate more income. It's telling them every single week that you can liquidate, because next week is going to be a bigger scale of LE to PVU conversion. You cannot do that. You need to set an amount, leave it like that, because you're already in an economy where everyone is liquidating. So if you add that on top of it, it's just going to make things worse for everyone. For the project, no one's going to stay long term. It is a very short term mindset, and that is the biggest end problem here. Okay. Last but not least, it seems like they did not really learn. And the biggest issue here is when it comes down to PvP. PvP, we were told, was going to have a completely separate market, a completely different blockchain. It was going to operate on a different coin itself. But this is the reason I got out. They decided to announce that they were going to replicate every plant that you own in PvE mode to your PvP farm for free. We saw what happened when every single person got one free NFT. What is going to happen when people that have 15 to 20, 5, 4, 3, whatever it is, get to replicate their plants for free in PvP? They're not going to sell them in PvP because I highly doubt that they will be allowed to sell replicated plants. But yet again, we are getting no injection of capital in order to play PvP. Why would anyone not buy in PvE and be able to double up on their plants and have them there in PvP as well? So now you're going to have an issue with the PvP coin. What is going to cause that to go up? How is it sustainable when you're literally gifting everybody enough plants to actually play that game, generate money, and be able to, I guess, withdraw? I'm not too sure exactly what the name of that is. So after all that information, I know it was a lot of information, it's time to draw our conclusions. And my conclusion with this is no, PVU is not a scam. I do not think PVU is a scam. I had originally invested 4.5 Ethereum, possibly even 5 if I do the right calculations, and I lost about 2.5 Ethereum. I was able to liquidate when the plants were still going for about 50 to 60 just because I saw all these red flags and I decided I'm not even going to stay. I do not trust these people. But now that I have, sat down, analyzed everything, I don't think it's a scam. I don't think the withdrawals were there to scam people. I think they have a lack of understanding of how things work. They have a lack of communication with their community. And they also have a lack of, I guess, an economist on the team, right? They have no way of really figuring out what is wrong, how to fix the problems. And they keep going back to previous mistakes while also not setting correct timetables. So do I think PVU will make it back to where it once was? For your info, the coin is now at $2.30. Yes, that is correct. At the time of recording this video, it is at $2.30. And the plants are about 25 to 30 PVU. So basically the road back is very, very steep. And I have no confidence in this team. If I were you at this point, if you're still holding the plants, you might as well hold them just until that PvP comes out. You get some free replicated plants, and maybe they do surprise us a little bit with what happens there in PvP. But if you're thinking about joining in right now, I personally would not suggest it. If you go ahead on PooCoin or wherever you want to, CoinGecko, wherever you want to track this coin, it is PVU. It is a straight downward spiral, and the devs have not done anything to really prove to anyone that it's worth waiting or that they know what they're doing. So my end conclusion here for you guys, I hope I was able to clear up a little bit of what happened, what were the problems here. And really, I wish I could tell you that they're fixing things, but it seems like every decision they make is just worse and worse for the community. My conclusion is, if you're still in at this point, hold, wait for that PvP. Don't invest more money. Maybe just you might get lucky in PvP. They surprise everyone with a new dev team that knows what they're doing, or they seek help of someone else. If you're thinking about getting in, I personally would not, just because I don't see where you actually get your ROI, right? The ROI was very high early on, which caused a lot of FOMO. FOMO created a bubble. Bubble was exploded by this update, and it all went downhill. There is no longer any FOMO. There is no there is a lot of FUD, obviously, but that is what comes with it. I personally don't think that this project is sustainable long term, especially with more plants being given away. It is not a scam. Would I get in? No. If you're already in and you're holding, hold on, pray for that PvP to be good. And that is my conclusion on everything around PvP. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe. It is my first one, so please in the comments also let me know things that I could do better, what content you would like. I'm gonna upload a little bit on Overload as well, on how I'm making currently between $500 to $1,000 a day there. Please wait for the video before you invest, because I have some big points there and I do not want everyone just hopping in. I'll give tutorials on that. There are a lot of other games, arts as well, like Rumble Kongs and meta heroes that I am very involved in, and those will all come out. But please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it, as well as any improvements that you would like to see. And I'm actually curious, how many of you are still in PvP, were never in PvP, or is anyone actually getting in there? I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.